Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, people of Earth. Welcome to the fucking news on today, the start of the F1 season day. It's F1 weekend. I've been waiting all winter because I'm a selfish cunt. It's in Bahrain, which is a tyrannical religious tyranny where they murder political opposition. They still kill women for adultery, and it's a death penalty for blasphemy. And, it's going to be an exciting weekend. Which do you think is worse? Like, offending trans people and black people in the Western world as we live off the fucking backs of slaves and the destruction of the planet? Or pretending that your virtue is, emboldened or bigoted by you campaigning against fucking, sports washing? Like, as if that's, the important thing to do. Look at your tweet about sports washing on your phone made by slaves in China. I know the burgeoning middle class in China like that they can eat meat and they can afford to go on holiday to fucking Shenzhen. But do you know what? It doesn't really fucking cut it for me. If you're going to give a fuck, Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton says, Formula One hasn't done enough. Hey, Lewis, you could always duck out of racing in. I had a look at the calendar. Lewis Hamilton, if Formula One hasn't done enough, you could duck out of, say, racing in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, which is the next race, Singapore, China, that's been cancelled, but not because they're tyrannical cunts. Russia, that's also cancelled because we don't like who they're waging war against. Singapore, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, to name but a half a dozen of the total fucking BAM despots, tyrants, fascists and murdering scumbags that Formula One will be gracing with a visit this year. I'm a selfish cunt, by the way, as well, along with all the other selfish cunts in the world who are enjoying their sporting events with nary a backward glance at the claimed contradictions or, complications or flies in the ointment of the fact that these are tyrannical regimes. I should just like to remind anyone labouring under some sort of delusion that there's one sort of like, there's a group of tyrannies out there and somehow we've risen above them. Britain, for many years, was the biggest empire on earth. Fueled by the wealth from slavery, by the Royal African country, which moved 10 of the 12 million slaves from Africa to the Caribbean. The biggest empire on earth, kept in place by slaughter, genocide, and military rule over the people of the world. We then shifted, we kind of pivoted, and now the British Empire has, it's changed its form, if you like, but still exists, I assure you. In my view, it goes like this. We now have transnational corporations who rape your country and enforce slavery for you and your people wherever you are, taking all of the assets of your country into the ownership of, limited companies or shell companies or licenses for your minerals from your corrupt governments, bribed with, slush funds from vast banking corporations and the few wealthy banking families who own everything of value on planet Earth. The idea that somehow Britain, the United Kingdom, because we don't own slaves anymore and we don't subject countries to military tyranny. The idea that we are now some sort of bastion of fucking virtue because people in this country worry about offending trans people or black people who got shot by a cop in America as they were peddling drugs on the street corner or looking shifty near a white man's house. I know it's unjust, but you know what? Fuck it. I like Formula One. And the tyrannies of Earth do not stop at offending people's personal identities. The tyrannies don't even stop at me owning a phone made by destroying the planet and ensuring the extinction of up to 100 species a day. Extinction. Not offend the 100 species a day that are going extinct because I've got technology in a van and a house with central heating. These are not like, you've offended my identity crimes. These are fucking extinction events for these species. And I don't even give a fuck about that. So I'm unlikely to get worked up about Hamilton's hypocrisy at racing in fucking Bahrain. Anyway, selfish cunts, the lot of us. Bring it on. I hope Qatar buys Man United and tragedy chanting reaches new heights at Liverpool when they can chant, "You're owned by some Arab cunts, do-da, or whatever offensive tribal football jam they've got going on. I really do. Hoorah for selfish cunts. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, on with the fucking news. Disney needs a disabled princess. See, this is what I'm talking about. A woman with cerebral palsy has asked Disney to create a disabled princess character. She says, Mrs. Deviney of Sydney said, she believed her journey to self-acceptance would have been different had she seen positive representation of people with disabilities in film. What do you mean by positive? You know that princesses are proto-fascist monarchists, future tyrants of unearned hereditary fucking power and rule. Is that the kind of positive thing? You're thinking your disability would be offset by becoming a total fucking cunt, a royal, an inherited fascist. Really? Really? Is that... Self-acceptance would have been different if she'd seen a positive representation of people. A disabled fascist tyrant. Oh, I'm a princess. I'm princess going to rule over you soon when my daddy, who's currently ruling over you, dies. What a positive role model that is for me. Oh, look, the fact that I'm slavering is no longer important because I'm going to be princess and then queen. Fuck you all. Fuck you all. See all you little girls and fucking ungrown up. See all you women out there who dream of being a princess. Fuck you all. Princess. Want to be a princess. And what? Inherit rule over people, over peasants? Fuck you. Speaking of that, the Sarah, Duchess of York. Remember her? She used to be princess, didn't she? Princess of York. I can't remember. Fuck her anyway. She told the Daily Graph, during the last 3 years, Prince Andrew's been going through such a tumultuous time. I'm sure Her Majesty was very relieved that I could help her with him. So we became closer then. How did she help Prince Andrew as he was going through that court case about being a whore fucking liar? How did she help him? Did she change his nappies, wash out his condoms, dress up like Shirley Temple and whisper "ooh daddy" in his ear as she wanked him off in his velvet fucking ermine robes? How exactly do you help a whore fucking liar through the tumultuous time, Sarah Ferguson? How do you do that? Oh, Her Majesty was so happy I was helping him in that tumultuous time. Mammals pass ingested plastics in the womb. Microplastics have been found in baby milk in mammals all over Earth. Now, to me, Lewis Hamilton racing in Bahrain pales into insignificance to this piece of human-induced fuckery. Really? It's plastic planet, people, populated by plastic people on a plastic planet. And Frank Zappa once sung a song, "Plastic people, you gotta go." Well, they're not going fast enough. There's a story in here about a pensioner. He was sent to jail in Scotland for posting death threats online to Nicola Sturgeon. What would happen if I wished that all humans died? Just to give the trees a chance. Maybe the otters, maybe some bumblebees. What if I post online like all humans should die? Because Nicola Sturgeon is a human, does that mean that I've made a threat against her, or the Queen, or Prince Andrew, or, the Dalai Lama? How does that work, right? If I wish, because there's plastic in the breast milk of otters, if I was possessed by otter spirit and said, oh, all humans should die, if I post that online, is that a crime? I mean, how far are we going to take that shit? Really? Meanwhile, Scotland's become the first country in the US to stop using global warming anesthetic gas. Kenneth Barker, clinical lead for the program, said, "Our patients come first, but it's great we're now making clinically safe patient care decisions with sustainability in mind as we continue to rape the planet to fuck people for a buck. 8 billion people and going strong. What could go wrong? There's a lot of news in this paper about politics, but I don't really give a fuck about that. The DUP, Rishi Sunak, Northern Ireland. It is in fact a total distraction from what's actually happening on this planet, which is that you're just the fucking livestock of a few wealthy banking families who are fucking you in the assets until you're no use to them anymore. And then I assure you, they will cut your throat, hang you up to dry, cure you, and eat you with a nice fucking Chianti. They will. That is probably your future. Here's a story. I like this story. It's outspoken Tory Deputy Chairman Lee Anderson, who used to be, was a miner and is the son of miners. He was a Labour supporter and he converted to Toryism because he thinks people lack personal responsibility. I've heard this story before. People lack personal responsibility. They should learn to, repair things and make more out of less. He says, people moan about not having tomatoes. It's quite simple. They should grow them. Really? I will grow them. I'll grow them on Lord Elgin's land. Lord Elgin is my local laird, cousin of the Queen. His family sailed up the Yangtze River and killed the entire Chinese royal family so we could impose the Opium Wars on them. He owns most of Fife, and according to my feudal medieval property deed, he owns the minerals under my house and can decide what colour my fence should be. So yeah, I'd like to grow my own tomatoes. I'd like everybody to grow their own tomatoes. So as soon as we take all the land back from the Duke of Buccleuch, Lord Elgin, the Duke of Westminster, the royal family, the church, all of that, and people have the facilities to grow their own food and live their own lives, the better it will be for us all. Because I assure you people, those of you labouring under some sort of, we've moved on, it's a modern world, nothing could be further from the truth. When the shit hits the fan, after you've been queuing in the soup kitchen for a few years, you'll be back in the fields picking potatoes for the Lord of the land before you can say, yes sir, I can boogie. Because none of that has changed. This country is owned and operated on behalf of the aristocracy. The royal family are a smokescreen front for the operation of them. And you're just their fucking livestock. That's the way it is. And that's the way it will become to be seen just shortly. Anyway, I see my phone's overheating. So here's some story about the war in Ukraine. And later in this paper, a journalist complains that we're not paying any attention to the war in Yemen. Well, the reason for that is because they're poor, they're brown, and they don't have any nuclear weapons. So fuck them. Also, their country doesn't have any assets that Europe wants to fucking rob. So, they're doubly fucked. Oh, one final story. Stephen Bear jailed for 2 years for sharing a private video of himself having sex with Georgina Harrison. Fuck her. She whored her body out for money. She's, she whored her body to the media for a living, made a living off of wankers for years. That's basically how she's earned a living. Ooh, look at me in my skimpy bikini and have a wank to me. Ooh, I mean, what do we think attractive women are doing in the media? What is their appeal except to wankers? I personally don't find, scantily clad, vapid, empty, vacuous, airheaded women attractive at all. But if you do and you like to have a wank over her, I hope you find that film of her sucking the cock of this other vacuous wanker, Stephen Bear. A pair of vacuous wankers. They deserve each other. I don't know what the beef is about. They should go into business making fucking vacuous wank porn, where, she swallows it and then takes it up the ass from him. That's what I think. Okay, I'm totally overheating on this phone now, so have fun. I'll see you soon.